Today we're checking out the Purple Leaf double top umbrella, and this one has built-in lights. I ended up going with the gray 10 foot by 10 foot version, but you can pick different sizes and different colors. This outdoor umbrella is not only a top seller on the Purple Leaf website, but it's also a bestseller on Amazon. We're going to be testing this umbrella to see whether or not it is the best outdoor umbrella that you can buy. To do that, I'll be breaking down this video into 4 different parts. We'll start off with the unboxing process, taking every single piece outside of the box and seeing what's included. I'll then transition into the assembly, where I will take you step by step through the build process to get the most amount of sturdiness from the frame. We'll also set it up during this process, filling up the base with water. After the umbrella is built, we'll go into the review process, where I will take you through all the different features included with the Purple Leaf umbrella. And finally, I'll wrap everything up with my final thoughts as to why this umbrella is worth buying. Before we jump into all that, I must say that Purple Leaf did send this umbrella to me to test inside this video. However, all of my thoughts and opinions are my own. And with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with the unboxing. For this umbrella, I had 2 boxes that I had to open. One contained the water and sand base that was sold separately, and the other box contained all of the different parts for the umbrella. I started with opening up the base. Included in the box was a 32-inch wide by 32-inch long umbrella base that had 2 different sections for filling up with sand or water. When mixing sand and water, you can expect a total weight of about 220 pounds when fully injected. I then moved on to unboxing the umbrella, which was a ginormous box. After cutting open the box, I was greeted with various different pieces, manuals, and parts. Included inside of the box was a cover plate, an umbrella cover, a solar panel with an included USB charging cord, the base tube, the bolts, and the hand cranks. And of course, it came with a really nice user manual that was extremely detailed and easy to follow. And then lastly was the umbrella itself. And here is everything that's included in both of the boxes. All in all, not too many pieces, so I'm expecting that the build process should be pretty easy. And probably my favorite part is that there are only 4 screws. After unboxing everything, it was time to move to the build process. When it came to putting the umbrella together, I started out with the base and I worked my way to the top of the umbrella. I didn't have any sand, which is recommended to be putting inside of the base, but I did have water, so I filled up the umbrella base with water. With this base, we have 2 separate wells or chambers for water, so you have to fill them up individually. Once you're finished, you just screw both caps back into place. When completely filled, this thing is extremely heavy, so it should withstand 30-mile-an-hour winds. After that, I took the base tube and I attached it with the 4 different bolts and washers. There was an Allen wrench included, and it was very simple to install. After that, I put the base cover on top of the tube, and then I worked my way towards the top of the umbrella by installing the solar panel. There's a little cord hidden at the top of the umbrella, and all you have to do is just plug it into the solar panel and then screw the solar panel tightly on top of the umbrella. After that, we were basically finished installing the umbrella. There was just a few more minor things that we had to do to get it ready to use. First, we took the umbrella and we put it on top of the base, and then we installed both of the hand cranks, one at the top and one at the bottom. I opened up the umbrella and I noticed there was quite a bit of packing material like styrofoam that I had to remove off of the different ribs of the umbrella. Once I did that, the umbrella was completely ready to use. And this is what the final result looked like. I got the 10 foot by 10 foot version, which was plenty wide enough to cover the entire area underneath the umbrella, and you could easily fit a couple of chairs and a table underneath that umbrella with full sun protection. When it comes to features on the Purple Leaf solar umbrella, we have quite a few that we need to discuss, and while we're doing the features, we'll also go over how to use this umbrella. We will go ahead and start with the features on the bottom and work our way up to the top of the umbrella. Starting with the base of the umbrella, we have 2 separate sections for filling it up with either water or sand. It works by using these little plastic caps, one on each side. You just remove the cap, fill it up with either water or sand, and you're good to go. Next, we have the safety pin. This just screws in to keep the umbrella attached to the base. On the other side, we have the left to right crank. So if I turn this crank clockwise, it will turn to the right. If I turn it counterclockwise, then it will start turning the umbrella to the left. This crank is really nice to have because it makes adjusting the umbrella a breeze. We then move to the main adjustment controls for the umbrella. Pulling in on this handle allows you to push the umbrella up, and there are many different heights that you can set the umbrella at. The main crank arm obviously allows you to open up the umbrella or close it. The first thing we have to do when opening up the umbrella is undo this Velcro strap. We then take the bottom arms of the umbrella and stretch it out a bit, and then we start cranking the crank. You can crank it either direction and it will establish a direction that's either opening up the umbrella or closing it. Once the umbrella is fully extended, we have some interior features that we must talk about. And the main feature is going to be the solar lights that is controlled by this panel here located near the crank arm. All you have to do is just press on the power button and it will turn on the lights. The lights will obviously be difficult to see during the daytime, but take a look at this footage of the umbrella all lit up at night. The lights are plenty bright enough to light up the area around the umbrella. You have the main light in the center, and then you have various lights all around the center light, creating a very appealing ambient glow. Now that we've discussed all of the features on the inside and the bottom of the umbrella, it's time to discuss the features that relate to the top of the umbrella, and there's going to be two of those. First of the two features is going to be the solar panel attached to the top. We set up this solar panel at the beginning of this video during the build process, and it just collects light, turns that into energy for the battery, and it's recommended to have direct sunlight for about 8 hours to fully power up the battery before using it. The last of the features is the umbrella cover. To install it, you may need a step stool or a ladder. What I did is I climbed up onto my step stool, threw it over top of the umbrella and the pole, and then used the zipper to bring the umbrella and the pole together, and then finally I installed the metal rod into the slit, and that just makes it a little bit more rigid. The cover includes a zipper as well as a tie string on the bottom so you can make it nice and secure whenever you're expecting weather. With all of that in mind, let's go ahead and discuss why I think this umbrella is worth buying. And I'm going to start with talking about the umbrella we had before this one and my experience with it. We previously purchased a cheaper umbrella on Amazon, and it would constantly fall over despite having an all-metal base. It would provide limited amount of shade, and if you had it at the wrong angle, you would be at risk of it falling on top of you. So right off the bat, when reviewing this umbrella by Purple Leaf, I noticed some significant improvements between the two umbrellas. Obviously, the heavier base and the wider poles make it much more sturdier than the umbrella that I had previously. It's also going to provide way more shade just because of the wider frame. And then on top of that, there's the obvious included features that make this umbrella worth buying, such as the double top design allowing for ventilation and airflow, the 360-degree crank at the bottom, and then there's my favorite part about this umbrella, the solar lights built into the ribs. When I first had the opportunity to turn these lights on at dark, I was blown away by the brightness and just how intricate and cool this design looked. It will provide plenty of light for you to enjoy an evening underneath this umbrella. If you have a hot tub, you could put the umbrella over it and it would give you some ambient lighting, or you could just enjoy some late outdoor time in the warmer months underneath a really cool designed umbrella. Now, when it comes to cons, I can only think of two cons. One is going to be the price. However, you are getting a quality umbrella that should last you for years at that higher price point. And the second is that you do have to purchase the base separately. However, I do recommend purchasing the umbrella and the base if you want the most sturdy design possible. All in all, I highly recommend this umbrella by Purple Leaf. It has been a huge upgrade from our previous umbrella, and I think anybody looking for a solar lighted umbrella will really appreciate this one by Purple Leaf. Thank you so much for watching this video review, and I hope that it helps. My name's David, and I do product reviews, product comparisons, and top 5 best videos. If you're into that kind of stuff, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for when I release my next video.